Williams Mercedes, and confirmation from the wall that everything looks okay at the moment for Felipe's car. It's a super soft tyre that went back on that car. And here's the departure. Across the top of the wheel and tyre of the Williams and pitches the Force India Mercedes into the wall, fortunately at low speed. Anticipating the energy there, and the Le Mans winner for 2015 is safely
and Vettel's gone through 6.3 seconds now ahead of Daniel Ricciardo.
And the drivers are aware of their responsibilities, and the information is presented to them on the steering wheels of maintaining a delta or a difference. So Rosberg is on prime was the message that we just intercepted there, and Hamilton is on the prime as well, which is the soft tyre.
Now that little sequence of pit stops has cost Daniel Kvyat, because he's lost 2 places to the Mercedes
in for Massa. So concerns about this car. So second pit stop now for Felipe Massa, lap 14 to check damage.
They don't see any damage on that car.
And in fact, they chose to take the soft tyre, so it might be strategic rather than damage related. So they're taking the super soft tyre off. They're taking the opportunity to use the tyre in the second race. So second stop there for Felipe Massa. Making the point about the virtual safety. They don't have that same close-up effect when the virtual safety car is in operation that they do when the actual safety car is in 10 car lengths of each other.
Yeah, they're meant to maintain the gap, aren't they? Hamilton, Rosberg, Kvyat, as I say, down to 6th, with Bottas right on his tail in 7th, then Perez to 8th, and Massa came into the pits from 10th.
The field will now condense, so lap 14 for the safety car. It's a safe opportunity to get onto the racetrack and actually cleanse it.
So there'll be space between the back of the field, basically. I don't know. Difficult to say what to apportion blame or anything.
I don't think it's one of those incidents that you can necessarily blame anybody for. So both drivers are doing what they're paid to do. Hulkenberg was probably somewhat surprised. Both of them understand the importance of being ahead of the other, because otherwise they'll spend the next segment of the race potentially following each other. So both of them driving maximum attack, trying to get track position, and there's just no way they could both fit down the inside of the road there. A go-kart style incident, and Hulkenberg just sliding up against that wall. So actual safety car has now been deployed 1 lap after the intervention of the VSC, the virtual safety car.
So as you say, they'll now bunch up. It'll give the marshals some free track time when all the cars are in the bunch to tidy up the circuit.
And there's always a high degree of sensitivity at race control, headed by race director Charlie Whiting, to ensure that marshals are safely protected and able to move on to the race circuit. Sebastian Vettel and his engineer, who falsely warned him of another shunt, but it was just the fact that there was all over the racetrack down at turn 3. It takes a moment to get that.
So that 6-second lead that now disappears again, and they're running nose to tail as they come behind the centre.
Typically covered with material called Xylon over the carbon fibre, which is the material used for bulletproof vests. This was several years ago to try and reduce the amount of debris on the racetrack in these incidents, but there's nothing much you can do when 700 odd kilos multiplied by its speed drives into another car at similar speed and virtually the same weight. Here's the tyre strategy at the moment for those of you who can see the GPTV big screens. 1, 2 and 3 are on super soft tyres, but interesting that Mercedes have chosen to go on the harder tyre in their stock, triggered by the virtual safety car. So prime tyre for both Lewis Hamilton and Nico Rosberg. So it'll be curious to watch that play out strategically in this Grand Prix.
Vettel, Ricciardo, Raikkonen, Hamilton, Rosberg, Kvyat, Bottas, Perez and Nasser are the 9 that are close behind the car, the safety car, and then there's a gap to Romain Grosjean. That'll be disappearing, but Romain Grosjean in 10th place. Then Alonso, Sainz, Maldonado.
There's also a rule that race control will be watching very carefully, that drivers must maintain a margin within 10 car lengths of each other. It becomes particularly important in relation to one teammate interfering with another in order to protect the lead driver in the queue and artificially create a bigger margin. So that's something that needs to be carefully managed. So confirmation there on the radio to Daniel Ricciardo of what we saw again in pre-practice 2 on Friday evening, that the longer run on the super soft tyre with a heavy fuel was stronger than the Ferrari, about 3 to 4 tenths of a second a lap faster than the Ferrari at the end of the stint before the virtual safety car was deployed, as the work continues here at turn 3 to just remove those components down there. So it's a big opportunity for a shout out also to our volunteer marshals and many of the staff that are involved in making this such a successful event, Bob. There's thousands of people who work tirelessly, many of them for very large chunks of the year, to make sure that this Grand Prix works to perfection, and we thank them very much for all of their hard work and help.
Some of them having flown all over the world to get here, to come on a volunteer basis.
Now the field has tightened up a little more. Already a lot of evidence of tyre marbles and rubber debris off the racing line at the moment, and you can see how hard drivers are working to ensure that they maintain tyre pressure and temperature, which is also being monitored inside the garages, and drivers will be aware of where they're at with brake temperature, tyre temperature and tyre pressure. They'll be working the brake pedal hard, fuel saving as much as they can as well, using very low percentage throttle and weaving away to keep the energy in the tyre. It's the two Mana Marushas of Alexander Rossi and Will Stevens, 17th and 18th, with both Verstappen and Hulkenberg out of this race. Verstappen is in the race but a lap down, about to get his lap back, but Hulkenberg is out of the race.
So I would have thought, yes, clear in sector 1, clear in track sector 1. So this those guys, very hot for them as well.